Can you guys hear me? Aw, geez. I've been talking to myself. I said all kinds of good stuff. Dang it. Ah, good times, good times. I don't know if I can recreate that awesomeness. Oh, that's funny. I have this little mute button on my microphone that it's like right where I touch it to adjust my mic, and apparently I touch it every once in a while. You guys all thought you were having tech issues. Nope, it was me. It was cute though. You were just watching me like babble on the video, like do do do. Oh man. All right. Well, we got FOMC today, so gonna definitely be cautious with trading. If we are going to see some more downside, I have this red dot here, which I was saying there's quite a bit of confluence in this general area. We have VWAP sitting right here at 678. The overnight point of control is around 670-ish. And then the previous day close, so gap fill, if you want to call it that, is at like 684. So this general region could be a decent spot for like a rejection and further downside. Or if the market opens down and we're looking for possible like long entries off of it, we have London low, that could be a decent liquidity grab. The previous week point of control, that's the 25,600 level. That's been pretty significant the last several days. So we could watch for a reaction there. And then of course, previous day low on NQ. The only thing about the previous day low on NQ is that ES has already hit its previous day low, like it's hovering below it right now. So I don't know how excited I feel about a bounce there. I mean, possibly a little bit of a liquidity grab, like scalp long, but if it gets all the way down to this point, we might see more downside. We'll see what we get today, though. Not expecting a ton with FOMC. It could be a choppy day, kind of just waiting for news this afternoon. Or we could see a sell-off at the open, like people exiting positions, not wanting to be in something at the open. Who knows? FOMC days are honestly, if anyone knows, if anyone says they know exactly what's going to happen on FOMC day, I would say that they are lying. You can come up with theories and educated guesses, but I don't think anyone ever knows. Price doesn't follow the rules on today's days like today. You can't find NQ and ES in MetaTrader. That's where you have your active prop firm account. I'm not familiar with MetaTrader specifically, but typically in prop firms, it's not called MNQ1. It's the actual contract for the date that we're on. So like mine on TradeDay is MNQZ5. Try looking for that. And then same thing for ES. It's MES Z5. G-Man, you said you're already in a short. Stop loss at break even. Yeah. I would put my stop loss at break even too with the open coming up because you never know what you're going to get. What was your entry?
Stop filled.
All right, got everything hooked up. Market's open. Woo! Red dot got big. Oh, we are going down. And now we're coming back up. Choppy open. Definitely not one of those days where it's just like strong momentum in one direction right off the bat. ES and NQ are both kind of hovering below VWAP. Watching for a possible short. I wanted to see if it comes up to like 670 first. It might not. Robert, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not familiar with MetaTrader, so maybe join their Discord or see if they have like a support chat that you can get in touch with. Because I'm not sure on that one. All right, coming down to London low right now on NQ. ES is not there. It is getting a little bounce at London low. There's just not an aggressive buy up with lots of volume, so I'm not convinced on a liquidity grab at this point. Could keep going lower. Definitely, definitely feels slow this morning. Trade with caution today, you guys, if you are going to be taking trades. All right, there's that 25,600 level. Let's see what happens here. And ES is starting to come down to its London low. I'm definitely not excited about longing this thing. I'm not looking to like try to catch a falling knife at any of these levels. On it, at this point, I would have rather have taken a short if it had come up to that 25,670-ish level. I guess I was too greedy with that. It did come up to 665 on the first opening candle, but I didn't want to enter on the first minute of the New York Open. And then after that, it kind of just trailed down, and I would have been chasing it. I'm okay with it though. I definitely had it in my head that I was not going to jump into any positions right off the bat at the Open. FOMC is a crazy day. Good reaction there. ES is bouncing at London low, and NQ came pretty much to previous day low. Good little bounce there. I'm going to try, I insert a small position long. I don't have the positions up here on the screen. There we go. So insert based on the fact that it came down to previous low on NQ and London low liquidity grab on ES. I'll see what happens up at this opening range high. If it breaks through there, we could see a move up. If it rejects there, then shorts could be the play. So 662-ish is what I'm watching for. Not going to give it that much room with my stop loss. No, no continuation back up. Kind of chopping around in the middle up here. Where are we headed? ES got a nice little bounce there. That would have been the one to take the trade off of. All right, ES is coming up to VWAP and towards that opening range high again. NQ is kind of still chopping around in the middle a little bit. Just wicked out. That's annoying. Should have given my stop loss a little bit more room. Two minutes until the 15-minute opening range is officially closed. This thing is moving up. ES broke above VWAP. NQ's kind of coming up to that level that I was watching earlier. Let's see if it rejects this or starts to break through. What do you think, chat? I know the expectation is that rates are going to be dropped today. Is that right? That's the last I heard. I haven't looked in a couple weeks. But that's kind of been the expectation for a while now. So this whole move up that we've had for the last bit, not just today, but like the last couple of weeks, it's probably because it's all being priced in. So is it one of those buy the rumor, sell the news things? Are we going to drop today after the rate actually does get dropped? Or are we going to jump up with the news? What do you guys think? All right, our 15-minute opening range is set at this point. Both ES and NQ are kind of hovering towards the top of the range right now. NQ, it's interesting because VWAP and the opening range are in the exact same spot. So watching to see what happens here. Could possibly see a rejection. But if we break out with some momentum, we could see a breakout retest. One thing to be aware of though is if there's more downside today, it could come up to that gap fill and then reject from there. So lots of scenarios I could see playing out. Just gonna wait for some confirmation here. Verisat, that's the best answer right there. Don't know, don't care. Just gonna short if it goes down and buy if it goes up. That's the sauce right there. There's a trader that I follow that I look up to because he's super profitable, and he always talks about how he doesn't care what the news is. He doesn't try to predict if it's going to go up, if the numbers are good, if it's going to go down, if the numbers are bad. Like, he doesn't care about any of that. He just pays attention to what time it's going to happen, because it's obviously going to be a high volume event and you should be cautious trading during that time. But he doesn't pay attention at all to what the number releases are. He doesn't care. So I kind of agree with that. Maybe not having so much indifference, like I want to be up to date on current events, but not trying to like be an economist and predict what is the market going to do if the numbers are above prediction or below prediction. Nothing crazy like that. All right, so I had a little fake breakout coming back down to retest this New York anchored VWAP. Could possibly find a spot to tick along. Let's see. All right. Dang it, my execution didn't show on here again. Bounce off of New York VWAP. Let's see if we get continuation. Well, it looks like it is rejecting that area that I was talking about. Or I misplaced my stop loss again. Let's see what happens at this anchored VWAP. Trying again, sizing down on this one. ES bounced off of VWAP, and Q is kind of trying to hold it. See if it works. I feel like I should have traded ES today. The bounces on ES are a lot cleaner. NQ is wicking around everywhere. Well, that did not work. All right, you guys, I guess we are going down. A little bit annoyed with my trading this morning. Before the market opened, I was kind of talking about that level at like 670, 25, 670. And I was trying to long into it. Why did I do that? Kind of hanging out here in the middle. Like I said, that 25,600 level is pretty significant, but it's also kind of in the middle of this range, so I'm not gonna like take a long right here. Let's see what happens down at this opening range low, previous day low level. Could be a decent liquidity grab down here. Choppy day for sure, you guys. What is our range looking like? 97 points, that's pretty good. Soul Trader, good morning. Some wild price action. Yeah, the 15-minute wicks. Pretty crazy. Am I on demo? No. I probably should have moved to demo though. Because this is all over the place today. Not doing great with it. That would have been a better idea. Even the wicks on the 5-minute on ES. Pretty crazy. Do I have a daily max loss? Yeah, it depends on the account and the size that I'm trading. So usually on my 50K funded accounts, I'll stop it at like 400 or 500. If I have a bigger buffer, I do more. And then I have a higher daily loss limit for the 150K accounts. I have 2 of those. So, and then it depends on what my account balance and buffer is too. All right, I can really erase some of these overnight low levels since they don't really apply anymore. As of now, this is our initial balance high. But we still have 25 minutes or so until it closes. We still got time. ES broke above that opening range high. Let's see if NQ follows along and continues. All right, Verisat, have a good one. Well, I'm wondering if the excitement for the day has died off. I mean, it was a choppy open anyway, but now it's just moving at a snail's pace. NQ is still trying to hold above the anchored VWAP. Just chopping around in the middle. You're trying to pass a 10K account with a $100 daily loss, but you put one trade a day. So divide it instead. Honestly, it'd be hard to divide a $100 daily loss because $50 per trade is not that much room, even if you're only trading one contract, one micro. Because sometimes with the volatility of NQ, you need a bigger stop loss than that. I guess it depends on what you're trading. There's a trader guy that I know that plays video games when the market is choppy like this to kind of, I guess, keep him busy so he doesn't try to enter trades. This would be a good time for that. Go play some video games or like online poker or whatever you like to do. ES was definitely the one to take the trade on today. Have to go back and journal some of these things today. Not a bad idea on days like today. Yeah. Keep yourself busy with something. I've also heard of people like reading a book and you can just set alerts at levels that you're watching, or you can color, or I mean, I know a lot of you are actually sitting at work too, watching the market, so you can actually do some work. But busying yourself with other stuff and just kind of glancing at it every once in a while, or setting alerts at certain levels to remind you to come back and look or whatever. Does that mean you'll catch me playing Mario Kart? Maybe. Not a bad idea. So if you guys see me looking away and like not answering your questions in the chat at all, and you hear the little background noise like beep, 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 those kind of noises, that's what I'm doing. Playing Mario Kart. I like to color too. I don't do it very often because my kids won't let me sit still long enough. But you know those like adult coloring books with some nice colored pencils or nice markers? Maybe I like it so much now because my life is loud and crazy with 3 little kids. So the idea of sitting quietly and doing nothing other than coloring for a few minutes. It just sounds so amazing. But no, I've always liked coloring, even when I was a kid. That would be another good thing to distract yourself when it's choppy like this. Smash Bros. Yeah, I like all those little Super Mario games. We have Smash Bros. We have Mario Kart. I think my kids got the new Kirby one. It's not new. I guess it came out like a year or two ago. I don't know. I don't really play the video games, but I've seen them. I do like the Mario Kart game though. That's fun. Old trader, this price action's making you want to fall asleep. Go take a nap. I have not fun errands to run after this. I have to go to the state comptroller's office, deal with like franchise tax paperwork and all that good stuff. Dealing anything with like government offices, whether it's like the DPS or DMV or whatever your state calls it, any of that stuff. Not a fan. All of their inefficiencies. Plus the fact that it's like 45 minutes away. That's what I get to do after this today. Kind of same thing I said yesterday. I wonder if this is a consolidation for a bigger move soon, or if it's just going to be choppy like this all the way till FOMC. Who knows? I guess I can get rid of this overnight volume profile. It doesn't really apply anymore. All right, it's coming up to VWAP now. Normally I don't go against VWAP. The main thing that's making me think it'll go higher is that ES is above all those levels. All right, is it gonna break above? It's trying to. What are you taking, chat? Anyone in any trades right now? What you got going on? Just not sure if volume is strong enough to make this thing keep moving. It's coming back into that choppy range. December price action is brutal. Yeah. No trading until the FOMC meeting. Smart plan. Yeah, just coming right back down into the chat. This is ugly. Oh gosh. Old trader is talking about wanting to take a nap. Maybe I should have done that today. Maybe I should have dropped the kids off at school and then just gone back to bed. That would have been a more profitable day, honestly. Well, this little box of death in here, just sucking it all back in. Staying right in there. Are you spamming everyone with emojis, Waffles? I love it. Yeah, Verdman, that's actually why that was my reasoning for looking for longs today. Was that it's holding that support level, but just choppy, kept hitting my stop loss. Not a good read on where to put stops for me. That was my problem today. We do have the initial balance set. Let's see if either one of these ranges gets hit. It's trying to hold here. ES is breaking below the VWAPs. Let's see how this 5-minute candle closes. Uh-oh. Are we coming down? Or are we gonna wick below and then actually get some momentum back up? Maybe? Maybe? I'm laughing at my choice of words. Momentum. Yeah. Not right now. There ain't none of that. There she goes. Interesting spot here though. Like I said, that 25,600-ish level. If it falls below, that could be kind of a big deal. Unless it's like a fast liquidity grab and buy up back above that level. We shall see. The 15-minute chart is ugly? Yeah. All the charts are ugly. Look at ES, man. This chart does not make me interested in taking a long. That just like rounded off and then fell off a cliff. That's what it looks like to me. All those wicks on the top side kind of rounded off. Buyers not able to get that continuation, and then just all of a sudden, boom. I hope someone got a short off of that bad boy. That would have been a good one. And if, like I said, if this thing holds below 600 on ES, and if it breaks below this initial balance low and holds, there's a lot of downside if we're going to be selling off before FOMC. Woo! Oh, Birdman, you said you think we might chop around until January? Oh, don't say that. I guess it's somewhat possible, though, because you do have holiday volume coming up that kind of slows things down. And that's soon, you guys. Did you realize Christmas is in like 2 weeks? Man. Who's ready for Christmas? Like, who's finished, bought all their gifts, fully decorated, fully ready to go? If you bake, you have all your stuff baked, you're ready. Anyone? I'm not. We have like countdowns and advent calendars and all that stuff all over the house. So every day there's a reminder that only got a little bit of time left. Old trader's ready. Let's go. All right. NQ is coming down to the initial balance low, but I'm not going to take a long there because it didn't touch the level, so that wasn't a liquidity grab from what I like to watch for. And previous day low is right below it, so that would just be like 2 opportunities right there to wick below and possibly have buyers show back up. So if I take a long, I'm going to actually wait for those levels to hit. And if ES does it around the same time, that would be even better. Here we go, here we go. Remind me next time when we have FOMC that would be a good week to like schedule a vacation or something. Geez, this whole week has been choppy and just like rangy, no continuation. It's kind of ugly. Well, it might just go from there. I didn't like the long there, even though it did hit initial balance low, because previous day low is right below it. It could have come a little bit lower, and ES did not come to initial balance low. So could have missed it, but that is okay. I don't like price action today anyway. Let's see if it hits. ES is coming back up to that anchored VWAP. So we might get a further pullback. Or it could just continue chopping in the middle. Fun times, fun times. Still watching NQ to see if it comes a little bit lower. And if ES comes to IB low at the same time, that would be even better. But watching for possible failed auction, grabbing that previous day low liquidity, and getting a strong bounce out of it. That would be nice. The chart's looking pretty droopy and sad. It's just not going anywhere. That's such an enthusiastic bounce, you guys. Don't blink, you might miss it. We got some wild price action today. Well, I guess on FOMC or like low volume, slow days, it's a little harder to play the liquidity grab trades. Wasn't a super clean bounce. Like I could have seen it come a little bit further. And then it was just slow. There was no momentum off of that level at all. It's almost funny. Like I just gotta laugh at it. That's what a liquidity grab looks like in slow-mo. Like if you're backtesting, instead of putting it on 3x speed or 5x speed or whatever you do when you're backtesting, is there like a 0.5 speed? I don't know, I've never tried it, but if there was one, that is what it would have looked like right there. Half speed replay. My goodness. Well, even back up towards its initial balance high. And see if they get stuck here where all those wicks were, or if it gathered enough speed to make it to some of these overnight highs. All right, chat, did anyone take that long on NQ off the bounce of IB low? It would have been a good trade. I mean, that's the setup right there. It was just so slow. I think that's probably part of the reason I missed it. I'm used to having that be, I look for momentum. Like looking for signs of interest at that level. A quick reaction at the level. There was nothing quick about it today. Not sure we're gonna see more upside. I was kind of watching ES to see if it came up to this initial balance high and rejected, but it looks like it might be rejecting before initial balance high. All right, you guys, I think I'm going to call it there. Took a couple losses early in the open, and then once I got my mind right to be more patient, just none of the levels seemed super clean to me. Didn't see anything I liked. So I think I'm going to call it there. If you guys haven't joined the Discord, there is a link in the description. Feel free to come join us. And as always, if you're joining any prop firms, use code Krista. I would appreciate it. Check out Lucid, TradeDay, Tradeify. Those are some of my favorites. Feel free to message me if you have any questions too, because Lucid and Tradeify both just put some new accounts out within the last couple weeks. Other than that, I think I'm going to stop trading for now. I might come back and peek at the charts after FOMC. One note on FOMC, if you guys aren't aware and you are trading prop firms, check your prop firm's rules. A lot of them don't allow you to trade like 1 minute before or after news or 2 minutes before or after. Check your rules. So trade safe, you guys. If you're going to keep trading, have a good one. Take care.